And so we're sitting here, we're talking about this. And, and for the first 2.5, 3 weeks that I'm in the cell with these guys and I'm locked up, like that was our conversations, like we were just talking about getting high and selling drugs and making money and gangs and all this, bro. Well, one guy gets let out of our cell and they bring in another guy. And this guy was like Romanian, strange to see in the jail cell in Florida. There was like this Romanian guy who you just looked at him. You're like, bro, you do not belong in jail. Like, what did you possibly do to get arrested? Dude tells me he was charged with 3 charges of assault. 2 of them were felony because they were assaulting an officer. And I was like, bro, get comfortable. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be here for a while. I just want you to prepare yourself. The assault on an officer, they're showing up for court. They're going to follow through those charges. I mean, from my experience, that's just what's going to happen. So he kind of takes it and accepts it. And, a couple of days of him in the cell goes by and, me and the guys are still shooting the wind and still, talking about the things that we're talking about and making plans. And so, this guy, he's like, can I get books? And I was like, yeah, you just got to put a request form in. So he requests some books and they give him 2 books. Ready? This is where we started to make our turn. Okay. One book was called God's Prescription to Healing. Okay. The other book was the Holy Bible. Yeah, bro. So he starts...
Real quick, this is the only sound effect I'm going to make for this whole thing.
So he starts to read his books, man. He asked me, I remember this question so clearly. It's not even the question I remember, it's my response to the question. He asked me, he's like, have you ever read the Bible? I mean, and yeah, I've had people in and out of my lives try to get me into church and read the Bible. One of the reasons, like, I just felt so judged walking into church. When you look at me, you don't see a typical Sunday Christian kind of guy, and I didn't want to go. I would always pull away. And it's like, yeah, I've read the Bible a little bit here and there. He's like, well, do you believe there's a God? I was like, I know there's God. Like, I know there's a God. I said, but I don't want anything from him. I was like, I know where I'm going when I leave this world, and I'm okay with it. I was like, I'm completely evil and dark. I'm good with that. He left me alone. He did not ever ask me anything again about the Bible. Still, it chills me. Even now, here, remembering my response to him, I can imagine how it must have came off to him. Somebody else receiving that. Like, I knew where I was going. I was like, I'm good with it. I'm good with it, bro. I said that I was good with going to hell. Pretty much just saying Satan's my master. I'm good with that, bro. This is a miracle in itself. A week or 2 later, this guy, they call his name. And they ask him to come out and talk to him. So he goes out to the COs, he starts talking to him, and he comes back in with a smile on his face, and I was like, what's up? He's like, they're letting me go, they're dropping the charges. I was like, what? It's like, bro, I've been in here for almost 40 days, and I still don't even know how long I haven't been sentenced or anything, and you're getting to get let go of? Bro, that's so crazy. I've become envious and a little jealous, like angry about that.
This is the same guy that got in for beating 2 officers, asked you about God.
Yes, a Romanian guy, bro, like, just completely does not fit in. And so he packs all of his stuff real quick and he left the books on our little desk. He left them there. He's like, all right, guys, bye. See you later. Thanks for everything. Hauled butt out of that jail cell so quick, bro. Like, left a bunch of stuff. He didn't even care. I would have too, though. He hauled butt out of there. And so, I mean, I'm kind of like festering anger inside of me from this. Like, I'm upset. I'm getting, like, why? Like, dude's on two felony charges. I'm booked on 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been here for like 2.5, 3 weeks, bro. And what is going on? And the guys go back to the norm. They're playing cards. We're talking about what we was already talking about. Buying guns at this point is getting thrown in there. It even went a little step further. So now we're talking about drugs and guns. And I just couldn't shake the fact that I kept hearing my name. I just kept hearing my name. Like a whisper. Like a small, still, peaceful whisper. And I just was like, whatever. For like the first couple of days. But it just didn't stop. It was still, so, and it hit me. I was like, God, I'm not picking up the Bible. Straight up said, I was like, I'm not picking it up. I don't want it. I know what's going to happen. I don't want it. It didn't stop. I'm in this jail cell 23 hours a day. Some days they're like, no, you're not coming out. Okay, so all day, from the time I wake up till I go to sleep, I'm hearing my name. I mean, it's not necessarily an audible hearing, but I'm hearing my name. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing it in my heart. I'm hearing the Lord call me, and I'm like, no. Straight up telling him no. Fighting that every way that I can. I'm sleeping all day long to ignore the voice. I mean, but then at a point, I'm running out of even my eyes being able to close. Like, I don't have any more rest in me. Like, I have every bit of energy I need. So now I'm up, and I'm just, so a week and a half, 2 weeks go by, bro, and I just kept hearing, I was like, fine. All right, fine. All right, so I don't pick up the Bible at first, though. I pick up the other one, God's Prescription to Healing. I was like, I find a loophole here. Watch this. So I start reading this one. No. Can still hear it. exhausted. Bro, I'm like 5 chapters in this book. I'm like, nope, if I just keep reading, it'll drown the voice out. So I keep reading, but it's all about God and healing and how we need God to heal. It softened me a little bit. So finally, I go and I pick up the Bible. I open it to Matthew. And I read some of Matthew. I get all the way to chapter 11, and nothing's really changed. I'm not allowing it to. My heart is still hard, like Pharaoh. My heart's hard. Nope. I'm going to read it. I'm going to go ahead and just get this over with so that way I can go right back to what I was doing. You'll leave me alone. That was my goal. That was my plan. Just to appease God, do what he was calling me to do. Then I can just say, okay, I did it. Leave me alone. I get to Matthew 11, verse 28, where Jesus tells his people, he says, come to me, all who are weary and carry heavy burden, and I will give you rest. Instantly, even to this day, I get chills. Instantly, I felt like rock break on my heart. And I just felt it break. I felt this weight come off of me. Now I'm in this jail cell. I am on my knees. My hands are in the air, and I am bawling, crying. I'm ugly crying. Snot, the whole nine. I mean, ugly crying. And I said, Jesus, I accept you. I need you. And I spent all this time fighting it. And I was like, I know that you have been there day one watching out for me. That's the only reason I said, I can't keep doing this. Lord, I need you. I want you. I can't. So I accepted Christ. On August 23rd, 2021, I accepted Christ in the middle of a jail cell. The same person up to that point I had been fighting, not just in this jail cell, but my whole life. Ignoring the call that God was saying, it was calling me. He wanted me to come, and I was like, no. And instantly it went from Saul to Paul. I stopped cussing. I stopped craving drugs. I stopped having conversations about drug dealing. I stopped talking about guns. Now I'm reading the Bible and I'm ministering to the men that I'm in jail with. The same one that was just having a conversation with them about buying some cocaine to go flip and sell it. The same one that was sitting here talking to them about buying some AK-47s and some AR-15s so we can go do some sketchy stuff. That guy was now talking to these same people about Jesus Christ, literally from Saul to Paul. And so I'm sitting here and I still have no idea what's going on with my charges. I'm just kind of sitting in limbo, not sure what's going to happen. Nobody's talked to me. I haven't gone to court, none of that. And I started to pray. I was like, Lord, and at this point I took responsibility, everything in my life. And I told the Lord, I said, I know that it's my fault. I can point the finger at anything and any reason. And I have several things that I can blame it on. But the truth is I made choices and I accept that responsibility. But I just need to know, what's going to happen here in jail? If I got to sit and face time, I'm okay with that. But the not knowing is burdening me. He talked back to me and he says, what I want you to do is I want you to read the New Testament 3 times. And on the 3rd time, when you finished it, you'll be let go. I was like, what do I got to lose? I'm reading it anyway. So at that point right there, I had already read it once, but at that point I started over. I was like, okay, here's one. And I read it once, I read it twice, and I read it the 3rd time. The 3rd time I finished it and I closed the book finally at Revelations, finished all the New Testament. Now I've read it 3 times, closed the book. It was about 10:30 at night. And instantly I was like, all right, Lord, I'm done. What's up? You said you were going to let me go. So I was expecting, the doors to fling open like he did with Peter in the prisons, fling open. I was just going to walk out. Nothing. And I got a little disappointed, but my spirit wouldn't let me stay that way. I was like, you know what, Lord? You said you're going to do something. You're going to do it. You didn't say it was going to be immediately or anything. You didn't say it was going to be the same day. You just said after. So I found this peace. And I was like, however you're going to do it, I trust you. I went to bed. I woke up at 12:30 with my name being called over the intercom. Midnight now. Not 12:30 the next day. 12:30 at night. They don't let people go that late, all right? Unless you were just booked in and you bail out, right? You just came in on arrest and you can bail yourself out. Pack your stuff, you're going home. Bro, I jumped up. I packed my stuff so quick. I left some of my commissary food behind and all that. The one thing I did grab, though, was that Bible. Bro, and at 12:30 at night in Orange County Jail on 33rd Street, I was released.